Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, and it's always a pleasure to welcome you all to our showcase session. I hope everyone is safe and doing well. Today, we are going to showcase another popular codeless or scriptless test automation platform called TestingWish. As we all know, in DevOps, we need to enable speed for continuous testing to support the faster code deployment in our customers' environments. And when we focus on multiple applications or multiple products as part of our overall QA teams, it's not always possible to bring different tools for different technologies or different layers from automation standpoint. We have to pick up something that supports almost all layers of applications from the code, from the test coverage standpoint. For example, our applications might need to be tested on multiple browsers. It also might need to be tested on multiple mobile devices, mobile operating systems, and so on. Because the customer experience demands that, right? The application should behave consistently over all these different platforms. So keeping that in mind, you have to select some automation tool that supports all these test requirements. And on top of that, we have other aspects of testing as well, testing the API portion of the applications and testing the database side of the applications and so on. So without further ado, let's begin. Today we have Premal and Balbo from TestingWish team who will take us through the product overview. Premal and Balbo, thank you for taking time and joining us today to showcase TestingWish. We are so excited to have you both today in the session. Premal, would you like to tell something about your responsibilities at TestingWish and give us a quick overview on TestingWish as a platform?
Sure. Thanks very much, Try, and thanks for this opportunity to talk about Signet and our product TestingWish. Myself, Premal Dave. I work as a Vice President in Signet Infotech. Just to talk about Signet, we are a 21-year-old company. We are a products as well as a solution company with a lot of areas, expertise into our different professional services. When I say Signet Infotech, we have three verticals, especially in products. The one which we're going to talk about a bit more in detail today, it's on the automation vertical, wherein we're going to talk about a product called TestingWish. There are various other products. We also built RPA platform. We also have a digital signing solution. The other product portfolio which we have is on the taxation side. So we are one of the GSP solution provider working with the Government of India. We are one of the GSP and GST solution provider for Government of India. Third and the last portfolio which we have is the FinTech. So we have quite a few products within the FinTech range as well. But yes, today we will talk about TestingWish as a product, which is nothing but the automation tool for your test cases. Over to you, Balbo, for your introduction and talk about the TestingWish as a product.
Sure. Thank you, Premal. So I am Balbo Jha, and my position with Signet Infotech and TestingWish is product owner, and I take care of complete engineering activities of TestingWish. Basically, just to provide a brief background about myself is like I am completely an automation guy. So starting from my initial days, I have been introduced to automation and I have taken a formal training in testing. So testing is in my blood, and I would say testing is my passion, I would say. So it is completely very much, I would say that I have 8+ years of experience in TestingWish and a complete overall around 10 years of experience in test automation. So, it has been very pleasing journey to see from scratch TestingWish grow to the level that we have reached today. And it's like the journey was started initially like what we need to make to create in order to help testers. So basically the idea came up as let's draw it towards data-driven framework sort of thing. Then we came up with certain ideas that how we are going to achieve that. And ultimate goal was to add, like, for example, not just only automation testers to create test case, but everyone in the engineering team should be able to create an automation test case apart from it. So that was the idea. Even if a BA comes in, he or she should be able to drive an automation test case and all. So that was the idea which came up, and now it is blooming in the sun. So
no, thank you so much, Balwad. So Premal, I will come to you with a question. We are halfway, or little bit more than that, going through this pandemic. You can see the impact, and since you are dealing with so many customers, so what do you see in the industry? Would you like to reflect on the business dynamics that is actually influencing specifically the test automation sector of the industry? What would be your thoughts here?
I mean, sure. I think it's a valid discussion and a valid point, especially in last, I would say, 1.5 years since we are into this pandemic. We have seen a lot of pressure that company, even we are going through the same, to cut their cost. As basic as, what is your revenue, what is your cost? That calculation comes up in every meeting of a product that we attend, whether it is a testing or any other product. So, I mean, all the customers that we see for a testing or for any purpose for automating their business process. One thing is it's all about, how do we optimize? How do we automate? Automation has become, the buzzword in last couple of years, where everybody is recognizing the benefit that we get out of the automation. Yes, we did try to sell earlier also, but the acceptance has become so huge in last 1.5 years that people are coming up with their own ideas. Can we automate this piece? Can we do this? Mainly, if it is a software development company or any such kind of even a functional companies where they want to automate their business process, they comes up with an idea that we want to automate. Why? Because we want to either go to the market early because we have a product and we can see that there's a gap which we can fill. So they want to strengthen their development process by having the accuracy by introducing the automation. Secondly, they want to cut short the development cycle if it's an IT company by automating some of the things. So that's where our testing fits in quite well, where we can cut down their go-to market, where it becomes very quick, and at the same time they can reduce their development life cycle. So that's where the automation, or I would say testing, comes in very handy as a product, and we have delivered day in day out with the use of a testing list. So that's where the scenario is. And I would like to take back couple of steps, or I would say 3-4 steps in our experience since we have launched the testing list. So I would put on, there are 4 generation of testing that we have seen, starting off with as basic as starting to write a test cases in C# or in Javas and Pythons of this world, and then comes something like having some kind of a framework available. Framework sort of thing are already available. Then comes some kind of a codeless tool available. But now what we're talking about in automation is just with the help of an AI ML, just with a user story, there you go, you have your test cases or your automation script available. So why I'm trying to bring this particular point here is business are also aware of this. They could see the degree of automation now. They've also seen the technology. They could see the benefits of those technology can deliver to them. It used to be just the enabler. Technology was just used to be an enabler. I think it's a bit more than just the enabler. So I think spot on, a lot of discussion around what we can automate, how the pandemic would look like after a couple of months or after 6 months. Nobody knows. So they want to automate to cut the cost, to bring a better ROI. So a lot of interaction around that space in the entire journey of our testing is that we force. Whoever we see on a demo.
Yes, I have seen that happening. Like a lot of companies or a lot of discussions going around. A couple of technical people who discuss around what is going to be the future of testing, or let's say automation. So I have come across certain concepts of deciding whether the manual test case or the user stories that BAs write, picking up automation and understanding what kind of things are going to be happening using that user stories, that is completely going to change the entire automation world. So that is something which we will also be talking about in our upcoming webinar, the future of test automation. It is due in next month. So that is something which is going to be there.
Exciting. So yeah, just to summarize, a lot of interaction wherein the acceptance, I would say, has gone up as a result of what we are into right now. And it's a great opportunity for everyone who is into IT space to help their customer with whatever solution they have and help the customers.
Yep, and thereby optimizing the cost and the time to market, right? So those are the two critical things that we see at this point of time. More pressure on cost. Everybody is trying to deliver things with much lesser cost, because our customers are also getting impacted, right? Everyone is impacted. So more pressure on cost, and people are forced to come up with some innovative solutions, and so on. Absolutely. Thank you for your insights, Premal and Balbodh. All right. So with that, I think we can go and start the demo of your platform.
Yeah.
So over to you, Balbodh.
Sure. I'll quickly share the screen so that if you can see it.
Yes.
Great. So this is the platform that we have built. It is already in the market, but it's a desktop-based tool. Once you download and install, it will ask you for license. It is readily available plug-and-play tool. You don't have to set up anything. It's just that it goes here and it will ask you for license. Once you do that, this is something which it comes up with over here. If you have to, let's say, define any test case, you bring up some information for your project. Very basic information, but very effective. If you ask me, all of these information is going to be reused in your various integrations like test management tool or the bug tracking tools or any reports that you produce out of your test automation execution. So all of these reports are usable, as well as if you see this, there's a concept of URL reusability for multiple test cases that you have written. All of your test cases can be mapped to the environments that you have. So it will be binded to your environment URL, and all of your test case can be executed in multiple environments. So you have multiple reusability amongst environments of each and every test case. So if you talk about a basic example of a test case, so this is what it is all about. It has human readable test commands. For example, there is a hierarchy here. Test project, under this test project, you can define multiple test suites. And under test suites, you can define test cases. So there's multiple to many relationship, and you can define as many as you want. There's no limitation as such. And over here for defining test steps, you can see there are a lot of test commands that are going to be utilized. So if I talk about creating a test case for a website, so you have test commands known as open page. Start with that. Define the URL that you want to put in. Define the description. What it does is, the beautiful feature that we have recently released is you can generate requirements traceability matrix from the execution report as well. So you need to define, or let's say map your test case to your test requirement here. And once that is done, you would be able to generate those reports. So that's how it is there. As well as you have dependency modules to define a test case that is dependent on some other test case. So all of those things are covered, as well as there is a recovery scenario that you want to execute if there is an unwanted failure, or let's say abrupt execution stoppage, for example. So in that cases, you can execute a recovery as well. So all of these things are already there. Talking about coming back to your test case. So you have multiple commands for each and every action that you want to do as an automation test case. All of these things are mapped to an object. If I talk about a web scenario, you go here, you create an object, or you record an object through a recorder. You have all these properties that gets mapped to a particular object, and that will be referred when you are executing the test case. Now, this is very much intelligent, just because whenever the execution fails because of one property, it will jump on to the next available property, and so on. So all of these properties are used in actually when you are running the test case. Now, the best part about this is we have recently added a auto healing capability that will allow you to update an object whenever you run the test case next time. So if there is any change in your application under test, it will be, let's say if there is any update or the objects are getting updated in every version. So if you turn this on, it is going to update your objects and it will run your test case pretty much flawlessly. So you don't have to go and update the test cases manually every now and then. It is going to have the test cases updated every time you run the test case. This third point is in the objects is that sync elements for script stability, which means nothing but more intelligent option for a particular tester to without adding the wait command. So as an automation tool, you have to handle the various scenarios that it might come in. For example, whenever you run a test case, the test case might fail due to server response times or the internet's connectivity speed. So you have an option to minimize the wait timings, and you just have to set this up and it will be ready to handle those kinds of asynchronous wait commands. So it will reduce your test case size as well. So all of these contribute to a all well packaged test case solution that is applied to an automation experience. So it gives you end-to-end sort of flexibility and robustness to your automation test case. Now this was about talking about a web test case. Now let's say if I have to talk about an API test case. So you have a test command known as REST APIs, SOAP APIs, and GraphQL APIs. So we are supporting all of those three technologies to sort of create test case and then validate those responses that we get as an tester. So all of these things are definitely available. You have database commands for handling any database queries, or if you want to validate your website with your database in the backend. So end-to-end creation can be done. Validation can be done on those levels. So all of these things are already there. Then you have mobile specific commands to automate your mobile application. It can be a native application, it can be a hybrid application, or it can be a mobile responsive app. Whatever your application is, you can automate those with TestingWiz. Then you have FTP operations that allow you to transact anything on the FTP servers. If you want to validate any scenario on FTP, you will be able to do that. So all of these things are already available for each and every aspects that an automation would require. Then you have get commands for validating, capturing anything, any data from the website, and then validating inside it. The beautiful feature for a lot of our customers are healthcare domains. So what we do is we have a very great feature of checking the accessibility testing. So a lot of tools provide you the automation of web, mobile, API, etc., but they don't provide accessibility testing. So as a portion of expertise in healthcare domains, we have accessibility testing, which is a standard for healthcare domains. So you can check accessibility standards of your website anytime with TestingWiz. It will give you the vulnerabilities that non-conformity on that standards. So it will give you all those details in the report. So this is very much covering every aspects of your application.
Okay, so just to summarize before we go from here, so what you just kind of explained to us is the test the test setup is so simple, right? I could see you just need to download, give the licensing info, and the setup is ready, right?
Yes.
And people who are going to do the use the trial license. So I think there would be some method. Probably we'll be talking about that in a few minutes. How to use your platform, how to evaluate your platform in the beginning. So you said the web is covered, mobile is covered, API is covered, and cross-browser, different browsers, databases, FTPs you also mentioned. You talked about accessibility test for healthcare-based applications. How about Windows-based applications, the client-server applications basically? Is that covered?
Yes, in a way you can automate it. You have recorders available for different aspects of website testing, etc. There is a visual recorder that could automate anything available on your desktop. Desktop in the sense, we don't market it as a desktop automation tool, but it can automate that. But what we are working in the development is we are coming up with a fully fledged version of TestingWiz that will automate your desktop applications with the backend properties automation, not the visual automation. You can already automate all of those things, that is desktop automation and whatever you see on your screen with visual recorder, but that is not that much reliable. That is why we are not saying this is a desktop automation tool. But yeah, it soon will be coming up in this month of September. We are having a good release.
Releasing that, yeah.
Yes.
Got it. Okay, super. And one more question. When we talk about mobile testing, so what kind of testing is this? Like, executing the test cases on an emulated environment, or you support also the devices, the real devices?
Yes. So all of these things are supported. Basically, if you have emulators, if you have simulators from Apple devices, you can also do that. It's just that connecting the Mac devices to your computer, to your TestingWiz server, that is required. That can also be automated, as well as real devices. You connect to real devices. Just the basic setup of Android drivers or iOS drivers is needed, and that can be debugged or, let's say, automated with any kind of application that you might have.
Got it. Okay. Thank you for clarifying that, Balbodh.
Plus, I'd like to add one more thing there. We have also collaborated, or let's say we have integration available with cloud browsers, like for example, Sauce Labs, Browser Stack, as well as Lambda Test. So we have partnered with all of these, and you can just set up a basic credentials here in these settings. Once you have set that up, all of the browsers or the offerings from Browser Stack, Sauce Labs, or Lambda Test, whatever browsers, whatever versions, or whatever platforms they are providing, you would be able to automate them from TestingWiz directly from the tool itself. So you don't have to do any sort of setup for that also.
Thank you. Thank you for mentioning that. And for our followers, I also wanted to add here that we are going to bring Lambda Test also to one of our future showcase sessions. So thank you very much for mentioning that. Looks like a great integration, your platform and Lambda Test. It becomes a kind of, completely seamless, zero tension kind of setup, right? You execute from anywhere, and it can be executed on the targeted browsers, devices, and your test would be complete. So very nice.
TestingWiz already supports headless versions of browsers also, so you can check that always.
Very nice. So would you like to talk about some more into the integration, how this fits into the CI/CD setup to the pipeline, basically, to make it a continuous testing solution?
Yes. So CI/CD, we already have those integrations available with Jenkins, Bamboo, and Azure DevOps. So it is like, and it is coming up, and we are also coming up with GitLab integration for continuous integration and continuous delivery setup, as well as we are in talks with Travis CI for the integration with them as well. It is like there is a small plugin that you need to import in those setup, and then once that is you have done a small UI for navigating, I mean, asking that test case, or let's say the CI/CD server to talk to TestingWiz, in which through a dedicated port or a dedicated IP address is installed on the server, it will talk to those port numbers and it will trigger the test cases from that CI/CD platforms. So whatever build you create on that, it can be a POL-SCM build, it can be a dependent build from there, or it can be a regular scheduled build from the CI/CD server, and it can trigger your test cases in here in whatever machines you pointed to. So all of them are by default, or let's say whenever you download TestingWiz, we don't charge anything for that. So it's by default available. Whenever you purchase the tool, it will automatically comes as a package. Now, the interesting part is you cannot just execute one test case from one build. Now, let's say as a part of regression suite, you have multiple test cases and multiple test projects created for your application or for your multiple applications. Have created test cases with TestingWiz. What integration with CI/CD tools does is you have all those scenarios built in. You put it, you dump it in a server, and ask your test case, the CI/CD server to pick up all of those test case, all of those projects, and give me separate results out of that. So it will do that also. You have that flexibility. And plus you have live reporting feature. As and when a test case gets completed out of the entire project, it will give you the test case result immediately. So you have all of these information, all of these live reporting feature inbuilt in CI/CD. You don't have to pay anything extra for that.
Got it. Okay. And so you have you mentioned the CI/CD tools like your SVN, Bamboo. How about the defect tracking and overall test management? Does Testinguish provides that, or it has to be integrated with another test management platform to have that end-to-end test management as well?
Yes, absolutely. So we are right there. So it's like you have integrations with bug tracking tools like Mantis, Jira, Fogbugs, TFS, which is now converted into Azure DevOps Server itself. It was earlier separated at TFS, but it is now there as Azure DevOps thing. Then you have integration with QC, which is Micro Focus Quality Center. Earlier it was HP QC, but now it has been Micro Focus. But then you have Zephyr for Jira, which is an add-on for Jira. You have TestRail integration. You have VSTS integration, which is again the Azure DevOps. Now, how the integration works is whatever test cases you have run, if you have to update the test cycle results, the fundamental automation scenario is like you have to have a manual test case, and then only you will be able to move to automation. So based on that principle, if you have a manual test case available in any of these test cases, test case management tools, you connect them with the automation test case with the help of the test reference ID here in the test properties section. So once you update that, it will go ahead and once you complete your test execution, you can go ahead and submit the result to the quality center or whatever test management tool you're integrating it with. So it will go ahead and update those test case cycle results and give you the result back here. So it is complete end-to-end updation of the results, and it will, if you have created any sort of dashboards out of it, you will be able to see those effect there. Yeah. For bug tracking tool, the integration is such that, so it is like once you find any defect, it is not automated because we have not kept it automated intentionally, just because it might create a redundant test bug, but we have kept it manually such that only one step or let's say one click would add a bug into your test bug tracking tool. So it's like that. So once you find a failure in your regression suite, it will present you the report and you can decide to file a bug through this button once you have set that up. So it is pretty straightforward. It will grab all the details from the report, what were the steps that led to failure, and what is the details of that test case. All of the scenarios would be directly imported to your bug tracking tool to submit your defect right from the tool itself. So all of these things are there by default.
Very nice. Looks like it is ready to get integrated with almost all the major platforms to give that seamless experience from the CI/CD perspective. Very nice.
Yes.
So one more question comes here. We talked about the test setup, the test development, and test execution. How about the test maintenance? Like if something changes, we created our script today, and you are saying it is codeless or scriptless. So whatever parameters we set today, or whatever I see in the wizard, the test steps and scenarios that were created. Let's say the application changes after, let's say, 2 or 3 sprints. So how do we manage that? The reusability factor or anything like that can be looked at?
Right. Absolutely. That is the basic fundamental thing of a test automation test case that you create. So whatever test case you sort of create here, it is going to reused in some or the other form. Now, if I say data reusability, so let's say if you don't want to use the hardcode data, what you do is you define it in a certain way where you define a section where all of those data would reside. And if you want to reuse that data in another test case, you can do that. There's no one-to-one mapping. There is one-to-many mapping or many-to-many mapping. So reusability of your data can be easily achieved with the help of data table section here. You select a data table, add a data set. The beautiful thing is that if you don't have a test data, TestingWiz allows you to generate test data inside the tool itself. So a lot of times testers, I've been a tester, so it comes from my experience that a lot of time as a tester, we sort of write test data in all of my forms. So you don't have to do that. So if you are saying that if you can generate data, random data inside the tool, you would be able to do that. Now, let me give you a small example of how a data generation facility would work. So you need to define how many rows of data you want to generate. Then you specify the field names, or let's say column names. I can provide name, age, number, for example. Then you have email, or let's say some scenarios require credit cards also. I can do like this, specify the numbers, or let's say the column names. Now I can say test data type. I need to specify the data type that I want to generate. So let's say this number with 2 decimals, for example, number, say numeric. For email, there is a template created known as email, and credit card. Let's say I want to generate Amex card. So I have done that. If I have to specify any default value, I can do that as well. And when I say okay, it will give me a random set of data for me. So I can use this data anytime in any test case or many test cases. It's up to the user that he wants to use. And now if I have to reuse that data here in my test case, I just have to loop it around and specify the data set from which I want to bring the data from here. So I can use my column name here, name, let's say number here, email, I can use it here. For example, this is just an example, but yeah, I can do that round and round. I can also restrict this anytime I want to. Let's say I want to restrict this to only 5 rules. So 1 to 5, I can do that and save it. So that's how simple and straightforward it is. You don't have to bring in any XLSB library, or let's say you don't have to bring in Apache POI library to have that functionality driven to your test case. No fuss about it.
Yep. And also this makes your kind of, test script more scalable, right? For future, if you want to take care of your data types and add more data types or alter the data types, you are not hard coding, and that is more flexible, right? So that's a nice feature.
Absolutely. The other portion of reusability is onto the object level. Now, let's say there is some change happening in the application, and you have to this particular object is referenced in thousands of your test case. So that's a real-time scenario that any tester would come into picture. Now, what we do is you have an object common repository here. You do the changes here, update it anywhere, like I change this name to, let's say, Balbod Hobbies, for example. Now I can, once I do this, I would be able to update anything from the central repository here, and it will be referenced wherever it has been used. So it is that straightforward. Now, taking this to another level, whatever reusability test case, or let's say test objects you have here, it can be exported to a database or a file, a test objects file that a person, another colleague of yours, can import it in his or her own project. So reusability factor is there, as well as you can export this data, or let's say the test object data, to a database, and then if someone wants to use it, he can import back it into his repository. So all of these factors combine together for a reusability component. The third is at the step level. Now, let's say in some or the other form, we always try to use certain steps again and again. So what we do is you specify the reusable components, like these 3 steps I want to reuse in many test cases. So what I do is I select those, right click on them, and say create method. I'm defining a reusable function here. Let's say the classic example would be login. So define the name, define the parameters. If there is any dynamic parameter, if you want to pass it to, you can do that. Right now, let's say okay. So all of your 3 steps would be patched up in this method. And here in your main test case, you just have to call that method function login, and that's it. You don't have to do anything else apart from this. So this is reusability at the test project level. Now this can be taken further on the enterprise level, which means that let's say all of 10 people or the 10 testers are working for a particular project, and they have their own repository of reusable methods. So what you do is you say select from file, if that is kept in certain under SVN or let's say any reusable shareable repository, you can bring them up, say browse, and select the file, let's say this one, and all of the methods from that file would be imported or let's say referenced from your main project here. So absolutely, reusable is the core of testing, as I would say.
Great. No, thank you so much for explaining that, Balbodh. So we'll move on. We have a few minutes left. My last question probably would be around, adoption. So how much training time is required? I saw that there is no scripting here, right? But when we implement this in an enterprise, right? So when we roll out this product in an enterprise, so what would be that training required to get comfortable on the platform and become productive?
Sure. Yeah. So as you must have seen in the demo, it's all command driven and it's very easy to use. So it hardly takes about 5 to 7 hours of dedicated training, and then anybody with the basic knowledge of just the HTML
Yes.
can start working on this tool. Only thing that we expect is somebody who has a good hands-on with the application, product knowledge or the application that they are testing, and the bit of a product knowledge to get them going.
Got it. No, that absolutely makes sense. Even I could also see that, starting from the setup to creating your first test script, it will not take probably more than a few minutes. So, all right. So before we wrap up, team, you would like to tell us, how the evaluation version works, like how people can go for trial license, and in case any help or anything, any questions from anyone who can help.
Sure. So it's quite easy. You can go to our website, Testingwiz website, and you can download the trial version, which is available for 30 days. You can also get in touch with our support team. They would be more than happy to, help somebody setting up. At the same time, some individual or has any specific requirement which they want to discuss or develop a POC. We also help support that during the evaluation phase. So we are quite adaptable and, very quickly work with our prospect customer to make sure that they understand Testingwiz, the benefit that we can deliver, just not by using the tool, but also by developing a POC and giving the complete end-to-end support.
Thank you, Premal. That was very helpful. And Balbodh, Premal, again, thank you very much for taking time, joining this session. This was so much insightful, and I'm sure our followers will find it very informative as well. It's a new tool, and as you guys explained, looks like it's an end-to-end testing platform for multiple things covered, be it web or be it mobile or API, database, and whatnot. I think only thing that is you are going to add is the Windows testing capabilities in your, as part of your future product roadmap. But looks like a great platform to be considered as part of the continuous testing setup in a CI/CD pipeline ecosystem. Very nice walkthrough. Thank you again. So thank you so much.
Sure. Thanks very much, Ryan, for giving this opportunity to showcase our tool. And thanks for this platform. Thank you very much.